All right, two down is Tim next. Tim Geithner may have been confirmed at Treasury. He may be standing side by side with the president, but if my next guess is right, he now has one very big bullseye on his back after tax problems bring two other Obama nominees down. With us now, Dan Mitchell, senior fellow at the Cato Institute. Dan, he's in there. I would suspect it's very hard to get him out of there.
I don't think he'll be resigning anytime soon, but I think he now lacks the credibility as the ultimate head of the IRS, because the IRS is a division of Treasury. What authority does he have to start overseeing enforcement of the U.S. tax law or changes to the U.S. tax law?
Well, you probably are right. I mean, he is going to oversee the very department whose rules he clearly didn't understand or might have even dodged, but he's there. And a lot of even Republicans, even though it was a fairly close vote as these things go, 34 voted against him, kind of said, well, he knows this stuff. He knows where the financial bodies are buried. He knows about rescues. So he's the guy, and they're not going to do anything to not make him the guy.
Well, I was always puzzled by that, because someone who had their fingerprints all over the failed bailout policy struck me as the very last person you would want to put in at the Treasury Department. Theoretically, we should find people who have their fingerprints on successful policies. So here he is. He's mucked up and failed with the bailout when he was at the New York Fed, and now he doesn't even bother declaring big chunks of income, and now he wants to be head of the IRS, or head of the department that oversees the IRS.
Well, he is. Dan, he is.
It strikes me that...
Right. I know. I see your point. It's a very valid point. He might have just been blessed by timing, right? I mean, he started all this. He got in before it was certainly erupting, but he got in before it really erupted, right? And it took down Daschle. It took down Killefer, who was going to be in this overseeing post. Is it the end of story as far as the administration's concerned? What do you think?
Well, I think clearly the administration just wants to lay low, and they think the storm will blow over. And if I had to bet, I think that's true. I don't think Geithner is going to resign. But I do think this calls into question some very big issues. Are we getting quality nominees and appointments out of this administration? Are we getting people that actually understand what it's like to be an average person? If you or I decided to dodge taxes in the way Geithner did, I can guarantee you we couldn't say to the IRS, oh, do-over, we'll go ahead and pay you a little bit of interest in the back taxes, but no penalties, no criminal prosecution. What really upsets me is that there's clearly a different set of rules for the power elite in Washington, and then for the rest of us who are expected to bear the burden of all this government waste, all the taxes, and we're the ones left holding the bag.
Good point. Well, if you ever want to get back taxes paid, make the person a cabinet secretary. It tends to get resolved itself very quickly. Dan, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.